Well, hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us for today's video devotion. We're in our New Testament reading plan today. We're in Mark's Gospel. We're in chapter 6. So hope you have your New Testament and can follow with us as we just allow God to speak into our lives some important lessons that can help us in our relationship with Him. And there's a lot in this chapter. In fact, I may preach the sermon this Sunday from one of the stories in here. So I'm going to skip that one for today's devotion, and I want to focus on the story about John the Baptist, because you remember that John the Baptist in this chapter, the last half of the chapter, or the middle of the chapter really, was in prison. King Herod had arrested him, I guess at the urging of his wife, because Herod had stolen his brother's wife. Okay, so he was living in adultery, stolen his brother's wife, and John had said that was a sin, that was wrong, and we know that his new wife didn't like that. So anyway, Herod had him arrested, and he's in prison. But Herod liked John. He liked to talk to him. He liked to listen to him preach. He didn't want to hurt John, even though he was in prison. And one day he gives this big party and invites a lot of military and government officials, business guys and all of that. And they have this big party, big banquet, and there's entertainment. And part of the entertainment is his new wife's daughter, so his stepdaughter. She dances for him and all the guests. And apparently it was a very provocative dance, sort of like our Super Bowl entertainment at halftime this past year, okay? Crossed the line a little bit. So very, very provocative. And King Herod, well, let's just say he got excited and let his emotions get the better of him. And he promised her, he said, I'll give you anything you want up to half of my kingdom. I mean, he was really blown away by her beauty, her moves and all of that, I guess. And so she goes and consults with her mom. Now remember, her mom can't stand John the Baptist. King Herod respects John the Baptist, even though he had him arrested. And his mom sees this is an opportunity to get vengeance on that no good preacher. And so she tells her daughter, go in there and tell the king you want John the Baptist's head on a platter. She does that. And the Bible tells us that Herod is really sad because he doesn't want to do it, but he's also promised in front of everybody. And if he doesn't keep his promise, then he'll look bad. So he gives in to that request, even though it's not what he wants to do, and he knows it's the wrong thing to do, but he's concerned about how he'll look, and et cetera, et cetera. So he gives in, sends an executioner, and has John the Baptist beheaded. And what I wrote in my journal, verses 22 through 28 is where you get a lot of that story. Here's what I wrote in my journal. Let me just read it to you. Lust and emotions make us say and do stupid, evil things we would never do in our right mind. Herod got carried away. Sensuality, sexuality, promiscuity. Got carried away emotionally, got carried away and found himself in a pickle. And all because he allowed his emotions to get the better of him. Made him say something that he would normally never say, promise something he would normally never promise. And then the emotion of being embarrassed and looking bad caused him to go ahead and follow through with what her request was, even though he didn't want to. And how many times have I and how many times have you done things that we knew were stupid? Things we knew were wrong. Things that deep inside somewhere we didn't want to do them. Things we knew would not please God, and yet we did them because our emotions, our lust, or whatever took over. You see, when people say what you watch on TV doesn't matter, what you read doesn't matter, what you listen to doesn't matter, what you see doesn't matter, don't believe that, because it does matter. Because what you allow into you, into your life, into your body, into your mind, into your heart, through your eyes, through your ears, What you allow into you does motivate you and shape you. And if you say it doesn't, you're deceiving yourself. Um, and this is a warning to not allow lust and emotions and things like that to control us, because when they do, they make us say and do stupid, evil, unbiblical, ungodly, wrong things. Keep your eyes on the Word of God, your ears open to the things of God, worship music, things that there's a reason elsewhere in the New Testament Paul said, think on whatever is beautiful, whatever is lovely, whatever is pure, think on these things. Because your natural flesh, your natural human nature will lead you down a path that causes you to do things you regret. And God doesn't want you to live with regrets. So feast on good things so your emotions don't dominate your life. John the Baptist lost his life because Herod let his lust get the better of him. Isn't that a warning for all of us? Pay attention to what you allow to feed your emotions. Okay? God bless you. See you tomorrow morning.